Okay, today I will be making a video on why people keep buying AMD chips rather than Intel's. Everyone talks about how great AMD CPUs are. If you ask any PC enthusiast, they'll go on and on about how much they love AMD's processors. But when you look at this Steam hardware survey, Intel still dominates in terms of market share. So what's going on here? If AMD is so great, why does Intel still hold the bulk of the ground in the CPU war? And more importantly, what are people actually buying right now? AMD takes over bestsellers list. If we look over at the numbers, it turns out that AMD is winning, at least when it comes out to current sales. On Amazon, AMD CPUs have completely taken over the top selling spots. Not only that, but with even older generation Ryzen processors are holding their ground, pushing Intel almost entirely out of the top 10. So it's uh, very apparent that real current current uh, buying preferences of the people are more into AMD rather than the Steam hardware survey, because Steam hardware survey only takes in account to account the current hardware that people have, and it doesn't account for the new purchases that people are doing. And it's not that not just any AMD chips taking over, it's AMD's 3D cache lineup. Every podium spot is dominated by AMD's X3D processors, proving that gamers are flocking to them in droves. Some may ask, where's Intel? Meanwhile, Intel is nowhere. Their current generation chips don't even make the list. The only Intel processors that are still selling are older generations, and those aren't even topping the charts. That tells us something important. The Steam hardware survey is based on older sales data, and the CPU market is shifting big time. As I said before, the Steam hardware survey is for people that already have the hardware, and the buying metrics from Amazon that actually shows what people actually want currently, and we can see that they don't want Intel no chips because Intel sucks. I also have an AMD chip for my own laptop because they're cool, and they're cheaper than Intel's. So let's break down the AMD CPUs that are really selling like crazy right now, why people love them, and which one you should actually buy. The best-selling CPU. For a while, the Ryzen 7 98 X3D was the undisputed king of gaming CPUs. It was one of the most exciting launches in years, and as soon as it hit the market, people rushed to buy it. But there's one problem: it's completely out of stock, and that's reasonable. Other than that, but scalpers have taken over, driving prices up even on mainstream retailers like Amazon. And to make things worse, restocks aren't expected until at least January. So if you were hoping to give someone the ultimate gaming CPU this holiday season, you might need a plan B. And note that I wrote this script last year, so actually I stole this from a video that was made last year. So ignore that. Plan B. We give you the plan B. That's where the Ryzen 7800 X3D comes in. Before the 9800 X3D launched, the 7800 X3D was already one of the best gaming processors on the market. It features 8 cores, 16 threads, and 96 megabytes of L3 cache, which is almost identical to the new 9800 X3D, just with slightly lower clock speeds and an older Zen 4 architecture instead of Zen 5. But here's the kicker, it's still an amazing gaming GPU. In fact, it is the highest rated GPU we featured in this series, boasting an incredible 4.9 star rating on Amazon. Even when you dig into the one-star reviews, most of them aren't even about the CPU itself. Complaints raised from shipping issues to missing game codes, but very few people actually had problems with the processor. That tells you how rock solid this thing is. Why is the 7800X3 still so expensive? Normally when a new generation launches, the last gen CPUs go on sale, but that hasn't happened with the 7800X3. In fact, it's selling for about 30 over MSRP at around $480. That's because AMD knows exactly what they have, and honestly, they're not wrong. Even though the 9800X3D is slightly better, the difference isn't that huge. At least not in real world gaming. Outside of a few niche cases like Rocket League and Stellaris, the difference in performance is really minor. So if you're looking for a top tier gaming GPU that you don't want to wait for a restock, the 7800X3D is still a solid choice. If spending nearly $500 on a CPU doesn't sound appealing, there's an even better deal. The Ryzen 7 5700X3D. It costs just about $200, less than half the price of the AM5X3D chips, and it still delivers great gaming performance. Sure, it's an AM4 chip, which means you're buying it on an older platform, but if you're willing to grab some used parts, like a motherboard and some DDR4 memory, you could build an entire gaming PC just one for the price of just one high-end CPU. And that's important because when it comes to gaming, your GPU matters way more than your CPU. Even if you pair the fastest CPU with the most powerful graphics at 1440p or 4K, the GPU is still going to be the bottleneck, not the CPU. So if you want to maximize your gaming performance per dollar, pairing a Ryzen 7 5700X3D with a better GPU or a higher refresh rate monitor is still the way to go. How about AM5? If you're planning to upgrade your system piece by piece in the future, then AM5 might still be a better long-term investment. In that case, the Ryzen 7700X is still a fantastic value right now. It's an 8-core 16-thread processor, and it's currently selling for just $267, over $200 cheaper than the 7800X3D. So final thoughts. AMD is most definitely winning the sales war, while Intel still leads in overall market share. AMD is dominating when it comes to what people are actually buying right now, and that's what actually matters for stock price and whatever. Enthusiasts already love AMD, but the sales data shows that mainstream buyers are making the switch too. Whether it's the top-tier Ryzen 7 9800X3D or the best-rated 7800X3D or the budget-friendly 5700X3D, AMD is still taking over the market. And with Intel nowhere to be seen on the bestseller list, it's clear that things are shifting big time. So that's all. That's the end of my script. Maybe that's all from the video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I didn't do salam in the first. I'm sorry about that. Bye.